Welcome to the channel, ladies and gents. We're here to talk about the Book of Boba Fett and its ratings. Apparently tanking, nosediving, flying off a cliff like a lemming. No Jasper cameo because he's at my feet currently, not over there. So, I've reviewed this on a weekly basis, so this isn't coming from a place of hate. I've enjoyed this show. I've also disliked this show. It's sort of 50-50 at this point in time. So it's quite objective down the line. This is just a news report just to talk about it, because it is interesting. And I guess this kind of shows the waning fandom of Star Wars in some regards. In some regards. Not entirely, but some of it. So let's dive into it, ladies and gents. Lucasfilm's The Book of Boba Fett sees its audience, scores, nosedive, right? Which is, again, I'm not going to say this is a huge surprise, because I think people are expecting a lot more from this, given that it's from Robert Rodriguez. You'd expect a lot from Rodriguez, and it's been quite moot. It's been more Spy Kids than it has Predators. He basically did Predators. So it's interesting. Interesting. The audience scores for Lucasfilm's The Book of Boba are in freefall, following the release of the show's third episode. Which, again, like I said, not a huge surprise. That biker gang, bad. Real bad idea. Like, what? Spy Kids through and through. When the show first released, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes was sitting at a respectable 84%, albeit from only 61 user ratings. An average rating of 4.2 out of 5, which is good. I'd say that's pretty decent, to be fair. Not terrible. Again, the way that they're doing their sort of audience ratings at the moment is difficult to sort of really measure properly, I guess. Especially with like movies as well, because apparently you can only submit a score if you've bought a ticket, or they're like verified users and all this nonsense. But it's still a score, you know. This is the initial score, and then it went down. So that score has plunged 20 points, down to 64%. So it now has an average rating of 3.5 out of 5 from 1,144 ratings, which is a significant drop-off. Significant drop-off. I'm sure we can all agree with that. It's basic mathematics. But it is interesting that the critic score went up when apparently the amount of critics went down. Critics ratings 26. Critics ratings 6. Surprised by that. Alright. Anyway, recent published reviews on the website are not kind to the show. Scott S. gives the show a 1 out of 5. He writes, "They've completely destroyed this character. Would have been better if they didn't make this show at all. Skip it." Ricardo V gives the show a half star out of 5. He writes, "I can't believe someone was paid to write this. This is an insult to all the actors, set designers, and all other artists who put their hard work on this thing." Look, we'll keep covering it in terms of the negativity, but I will say I've enjoyed it. Like I said, 50-50, I would say. They're 2 for 2. So Chris M gives the show a 3 out of 5, and he writes, "I'm mainly giving this 3 stars for the nostalgia factor. It looks very well made, and there's fantastic actors in it, but it is in desperate need of an actual plot." And I think that's a very valid criticism, because at the end of the day, there's not much that's been going on. He's a pretty incompetent crime boss. He's not actually doing any crime. I've seen him do no crime at all. I'm a bit shocked as to why he even wanted Tatooine. I understand in the flashbacks, probably because of the Tusken Raiders, but still, just move on, mate. So Jacob G gives the show a 1 out of 5. And he writes, "Character assassination, the asinine writing combined with the uninspired direction make for an unholy concoction. I never would have thought it possible to make a show about Boba Fett a chore to watch. Awesome job, Disney." Valid. Andy K would say, after a 1.5 out of 5, says the turn Boba Fett into a cute, cuddly, chatty grandfather figure in a world of G-rated violence. No thanks. It's like they're targeting 8-year-olds. And I think, the reviews are important to note because they are targeting 8-year-olds. Right, they are. They're unequivocally targeting kids with this. And whenever I review something, be it in the news or an actual show, I think it's important to actually note that. You know, this isn't for me, but I can enjoy it on this benefit. Or, no, it's not for me, and, you know, I didn't enjoy it based on this, and this, and this. Right? Shows that are catered just for kids doesn't mean it can't be catered for adults as well. Like, Star Wars did a pretty good job of that. Definitely good for kids and adults. Yes, sure, hands flying off and stuff like that, but I think that show can be enjoyed by both kids and adults. I mean, I was a kid when I watched it, so I'm sure we can all agree, right? And yet they're struggling with Boba Fett. And I think therein lies the issue with Disney on a whole, right? They're looking to kidify what was already okay for kids. You got to remember that, right? Star Wars was fine for kids, albeit, you know, not little man-children kids of today who are getting mollycoddled out the wazoo. But it was fine for kids, and they're looking to kidify it even more, and therein lies the problem, I believe, anyway. So it is important to note some of these reviews. So, what's next for it? Well, the show isn't just seeing its audience drop on Rotten Tomatoes. On IMDb, the user rating has dropped by an entire point. Pretty big for IMDb, to be honest, because that's an average. When the show first debuted, it had a weighted average of 8.7 out of 10 from 1.7, 1,700 IMDb users. But now it's, again, 7.8 out of 10, which is, you know, it was 8.7. So 7.8 out of 10 from 26,000 IMDb users. And its score dropped to 8 from 10. So, yeah, a median score. So pretty big changes, to be fair. And the demographics are interesting, right? So this perhaps tells us, well, sub 18, 7.7. So these are the ratings. So steepest droppers come from females aged 30 to 40. Females aged 30 to 44 originally previously given the show an 8.9, as you can see below. So in their efforts to sort of kidify it, they're distancing the adult audience, which is funny, isn't it? Don't you think? Because, again, males under 18, 7. 18 to 29, 30 to 44. That's your age bracket, and also 45 plus. They're rating it higher, and yet Disney is looking to kidify it. Know your audience, Disney. Like, your audience isn't actually kids at that point. Which is highly comical, I think, when you think about it, really. Really, really, really funny. And then there's other, you know, reviews, people panning the show and things like that. You know, I don't want to get into that too much because we've kind of got to the brunt of what we wanted to cover here. Is just that it is bombing, but it's something that they've made off their own back, right? Like Disney looks to kidify something which is fine for kids in an effort to capture kids' attention that they're not even watching it. They don't even rate the show. So you're not even appealing to kids, which is just utterly, I mean, imbecile level behaviour. So what do you guys think of this? Let me know down below. I mean, for me, I think that perfectly sums it up. It perfectly encapsulates it. You've kidified something that's already fine for kids, thus watering it down to a point like, I don't know, like weak squash. No one likes weak squash. All right? It's gross. It's like drinking like piss water or something. It's horrible. No one wants to drink your weird, watered down squash. Mix it up properly. Give us the kid version that we know of Star Wars, because it worked before and it can work again. But let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Follow my Twitter and Instagram. It's in the description box down below. And hit subscribe on my second channel. You'll find that linked in the description box as well. Vlogs, cars, rare stuff, JDM car meets, etc. You might like it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Cheers. Take care.